Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody, and welcome to this brand new Works with Enfocus Switch webinar together with our partner Viesus. Well, today we're going to see a new app that has been published on our App Store, I think a couple of weeks ago, by Viesus, a company specialized in image enhancement, but also I think background removal as well. Survey, you're still muted.
Yep. Yeah, background removal, auto cropping, upscaling.
Mhm. So what we
Yes.
have today is, first of all, we're going to give the stage to Survey, who's going to explain a little bit to you what Viesus is all about, what they've done together with Enfocus Switch, how the app works. We're also going to see a live demonstration of the app as well, and how it can be used in your flows, and also, of course, how you can start testing the app and testing the Viesus environment as well. Like in every webinar, we do invite you to ask any questions you have in the Q&A section. Also, if something would be wrong with the audio, if something would be wrong if you do not see the screen or something like that, please let us know so we can try and fix this. Also, keep in mind this session is recorded. You will receive an email from us tomorrow with the recording as well, so you can re-watch this session as well. Without further ado, I give the stage to Survey. Survey, it's up to you.
All right. Thanks, Davey. I just shared my screen. Hey, everyone. Thanks for joining. I'm Servi Peters. I'm leading the Viesus team. We're just based outside Zurich, Switzerland. So we spun Viesus out of Imaging Solutions, a company that's been building hardware and software for printing companies for decades. It was born in print production floors, where every bad image means a bad print, wasting time and complaints. Today, I will show you why Viesus matters and how it fits into Enfocus Switch, and a quick demo by Davey so you can see it live in action. So here's the agenda for today. We will tell you why we are here, how it works with a live demo, and the impact of the automatic image enhancement. So everyone here runs Switch to keep work moving. The automation is great. It keeps the print jobs flowing. But this here shows where it still could break the flow, and that's the image quality itself. So see these warnings, quality low. They could scare customers off. They could cause pre-press operators to stop the job, or worse, they slip through, get printed, and then bounce back as reprints. And that's the problem. You can have the best workflow automation, but if the images are under specification, the flow stops. So then the bottleneck isn't the workflow, it's the low quality of the input. And that's what we call the image depth. So here's the thing. Under specification doesn't always mean imprintable. It just means the file falls below some thresholds. In practice, most of these files can be corrected. Take low DPI, compression artifacts, noise, or dull colors. They just need enhancement before they hit the printer. We've seen various scenarios why input files are low quality. We're even supporting printing companies that get PDFs created in Word. So such files, print files, need some fixes before being printed to get a much better result. So here's the kind of image you can get in jobs. It looks a bit dull, flat, noisy. It's technically printable, but not something a customer would be proud to hang on their wall. On the right side, there's an image after being enhanced by Viesus. It's sharper, clearer, colors that pop more. And the great thing, no manual touch-ups were needed. So where do we fit in Switch? So Switch users are already experts at moving jobs through production. Where we come in is with the quality inside those jobs. So think about all those images, whether standalone images or embedded in PDFs that show up under spec. So there could be low DPI or JPEG compression artifacts or dull colors. If you place Viesus into a switch flow, the jobs keeps moving automatically. But now the image quality is corrected on the way, all while leaving the text and the layout untouched. So we only just enhance the images embedded inside the PDF. So just think about how many times you had to reject or fix a job manually because the low DPI, for example. So what does this mean in practice? What outcomes can you expect when you run Switch together with Viesus? Well, first, fewer reprints, because those under-spec images are automatically fixed before they reach the press. Second, less manual fixing. Your pre-press team spends less time chasing bad files or calling customers for replacements. And the third one is more orders. When your customers don't get warnings like low quality when you have that in your app, they're more likely to go ahead. Or in some cases, you can offer the customers to buy larger print sizes. So in this case, Switch automates the flow, Viesus automates the quality. Together, they deliver a better business. So how? So remember this point at the flow. Everything goes automated until the images weren't good enough. This is exactly where the image quality depth builds up. A Switch alone can't help because the issue is inside the images. So you have the options cancel order, print anyway, or request a new file. None of these options are really good. And here's where Viesus adds value. That means the quality issue gets corrected inside the flow. So that moment that used to be a bottleneck is now just another step in your automation in Switch. The job flows instead of stalling. So how does this actually work inside Switch? So Viesus is an invisible layer. Usually it's always on by default in production, but only kicks in when needed. So first, the rule-based routing. So only jobs that fall below your quality thresholds get sent to Viesus, as checked by pitstop pre-flight. Clean files bypass it. Second, the automatic fix. So if it's an image, we enhance or safely upscale it. If it's a non-flattened PDF, we find the embedded images, enhance and upscale them, and reinsert them back into the PDF, again, without touching the layout and text of the PDF. Third, it gets back to the flow. The file then returns to the main path. So the best part is it's fully unattended, so nothing for the operators to click or review. All right, that's enough slides for now. Let's see it in action. So Davey, are you ready to do a short demo?
Of course I am. Let me just share my screen. There you go. Can everybody see my screen? Servi, I don't know if you can see my screen.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Thank you for confirming. Now, this is the flow that we set up for this webinar. It's quite simple flow. It allows you to submit a job using a submit point and switch. And we have specified in this flow that we're going to check the PDFs, the incoming PDFs, on specific technicalities. For example, are the images high enough in resolution? Is the text embedded, etc., etc., etc. Everything that you can define in a pitstop pre-flight profile. So we check all incoming jobs, and then we route it two ways. If everything is okay, it just continues into the flow and just goes straight to in position and then to your DFE. That could be a Fiery-driven DFE. It could be Canon Prism Sync, for example, PHP, whatever that you have in your production environment. But if it picks up errors in your PDF, like for example in this scenario, low resolution images, it will go to a checkpoint for a prepress operator to check. Now, this is optional, of course. If you say, for example, I do not want to have any manual intervention, if it detects low resolution, it has to go straight to Viesus to optimize the images in the PDF. That is possible as well. It all depends how you want to set up your production environment, and that fits your company as well. So let's go ahead and push something into this flow. Let me just go into my submit point. These are my submit points connected to this flow. And I have here a PDF file of a photo book from somebody that went to Bali in 2024. Okay, looks great, looks nice, but let's go and check this file if it's ready for production. And we're just going to drag and drop this into the switch submit point. This is for digital printing, and it's going to be a photo book. So we defined all those, defined this job data, just submit it into the flow, and then will be processed automatically. So first stage, going through Enfocus pit stop, checking if everything is ready to be produced, if the images are high enough in resolutions, fonts are embedded, there's no spot colors, etc., etc. Everything that you defined in this pre-flight profile, of course. We already see that a pre-flight has failed, so it went into the direction of the manual check. So let's go ahead and see why this job has failed. What is the reason that we have this fail message? We do, of course, have the possibility to access the pre-flighting report. And we do see here a couple of warnings. We applied already some fixes as well to get it ready for production, but it did fail on the color and grayscale images, meaning that we have specific images in the file that is larger than 16 pixels and has a resolution less or equal than 149 ppi. So that means we have low resolution images here. Now, what kind of options do you normally have as a prepress operator or as a printing company? The options that you have here is quite simple and quite straightforward. If you don't have Viesus or you don't have image enhancement in your environment, you can go back to the customer and ask them for a new file. Could be that your customer is saying, I can't give you a better file. These are the images I took on holiday. If they're crappy, they're crappy. If you do not want to print them, okay, no worries. I will go to your competitor and print them over there because maybe they do not have those kind of quality standards. Maybe they do not care about the output quality and just produce whatever actually I'm sending them. That's option A. Option B is just go ahead and produce them anyway. But you can get some complaints from your customers afterwards. You could say, for example, why didn't you tell me that the pictures are crappy? Why are they so blurry? Why are they so flat in color, for example? And then you actually have to cope with that in your after sales as well. In this case, in this scenario, we have another option. We have the option to reroute this job to Viesus to try to enhance the images. So if I now push this to the connection Viesus Enhance, it will reroute that PDF to the Viesus app. It will upload the job to the Viesus Cloud infrastructure, enhance it, and give me back the result. And of course, you do have the possibility to define some properties, how you want the enhancement to be done. I'm not an expert, but the good thing about this webinar is that we have the expert on the other side of the line. And maybe, Servi, you can explain a little bit more in detail what these options are all about.
Sure. So the first is the API key. So if you want to use the Viesus cloud, you need to fill in an API key. Yep, exactly. You can find it when you create a user account. In the menu, there's an option API, and everyone can copy Stevie API key here.
I will regenerate those keys after the webinar.
No worries. Yes, it's on your credit card anyway. So,
yes, company's credit card.
Yeah. And you can copy there the API key into the Enfocus Viesus app to use it. So that's the first option. That's important to get started at all. The next one is the artifact detection removal. So that's, you can turn it off, but I would recommend to leave it on because that will look for JPEG compression artifacts. And if it finds it, it will smoothen those out and make it sharper. A reason could be to turn it off is also for performance reasons. So it just does one enhancement step less. Then we have the upscaling factor that's more relevant for images. If you don't know the output print resolution, then you can put there factor 2, factor 4, more pixels. The most important one, I would say, is then the target resolution. That's where you fill in to which DPI all the images should be. Should be upscaled too. So in a PDF, you have like your placeholders where the image is in place. If the DPI is low, you'll make sure that it reaches the 300 DPI in this placeholder. Then we have the upscaling threshold. So maybe you don't want to upscale for performance reasons, not every image, but only if it needs to be upscaled by above 1.2 factor. Because if you upscale by 1.1 factor, there's a just a small difference in quality. So there you can define the threshold. Then the next two ones are the default and image enhancement if you want to improve the colors. I will explain later a bit on what it exactly does there. And the next one is enhanced face details. So that's an extra layer where we reconstruct face details to make them more sharper and clearer. Also, the reason why you can turn it on and off is for performance reasons. But if you deal with photos or images with a lot of faces, I would recommend to leave them on. So that's in a nutshell these properties and the values explained.
Mm-hmm. Now, in the meantime, Viesus already has processed the job, so has done the enhancement and finished the enhancement. The beauty of it here is, for example, it done the enhancement directly in the PDF. You do not have to extract the images from the PDF first, then enhance them and put them back. No, it's working natively on the PDF and enhancing the pictures within the PDF directly. So there's no additional hassle to extract them first before optimizing. Let's compare this. Of course, we want to see the results. So I do have here the original. I'm opening this up in Chrome. And the reason why I'm opening this in Chrome, because the job went back to the checkpoint, as you can see here in Switch. So we can actually see the results again. This is how I defined the flow. If you do not want that manual check, you can send it straight back into production. If you do not trust Viesus as well, you do not trust the results, you also can connect it to Pitstop server again. That will pre-flight the job to check if now the images have the correct resolution, yes or no. So that is also a possibility. How you define your flows is completely up to you. That is how flexible Switch is. Now let's have a look. What we have here is the original file that we've submitted. I'm just going to open this in a separate tab. We're also going to go back to the submit point, and we're also going to open the result as well. And we're also going to put this in a second window. Let me put the results on the right-hand side of the screen. And let me put the input file on the left-hand side. And let's actually start zooming in a bit. So if we zoom in into this environment, this region, we see, okay, nice pictures, but they're not that sharp or a little bit blurry. So let's actually take the same zooming percentage. Let's actually zoom in a little bit more as well. And here we can really see the result of upscaling. Of course, this result is based on the settings that we used in the app. Of course, if you manipulate a little bit the settings, you can have different results as well that fits your production environment. Let's go to the second page. Same thing here. you do have a very low resolution file, and here we have a more clearer and more visual difference between the before and the after, where we can see better the results of the upscaling, of course, not only in image resolution, but also in color, in black point, what is it called? Black point composition or something like that. Color contrast, etc., etc., etc. Last page, for example, we have this one. And this is, for example, the result after upscaling. I don't know if you want to show another page, Survey, before or after.
No, I think it's good. I suspect also that there is some slight video compression on the webinar. But what we do is, no, it's a great example, so thank you for that. But what we do is we share the PDF as well for people to try out themselves, so they can look at it at their own screen, etc. Yeah.
I'm going to show you in a minute where you can see that PDF, where you can download that PDF to do the testing yourself with the Viesus app. Survey is also going to explain to you where you can actually create an account and, of course, get some free credits, Survey, as well.
Yep.
Okay. I thought it was quiet for a couple of seconds, so I don't know. So again, if you're happy with the result, next stage, what you can do, of course, is send it off to production. We're now using another app from my app store, Quite Helper, that connects with Quite Imposing. But if you want to use Ultimate, if you want to use Phoenix, if you want to use any other impositioning software, completely up to you. If you want to use also the DFE as impositioning option, also completely up to you. Same thing with the DFEs. We have a lot of DFEs that you can use from our app store. It's up to you what you're actually using in your own production. And in the end, it is an imposed file that we send to your production environment that contains that enhanced file. Okay, I don't know if you still have something else to share, but first of all, because I'm here, I'm just going to navigate to our App Store. So if you go to the Enfocus App Store and you search for Viesus, I don't have to search because it's right here. You have here the app, the Viesus app, where you can just download it for free and allocate it to one of your Switch installations. And there is also a comprehensive guide connected to the app as well. And the same thing goes with the sample PDF files that we just used for this webinar as well. I don't know, Sergey, I don't know if you still have something to add here. Maybe you have to share your
Yeah, definitely. Again. So I would just explain a bit more how we do the enhancement and the upscaling. What some business results that we were seeing at other printing companies. Yeah, and also some things how to get started. Yeah. Turn on back my camera. Sharing back to the presentation. Yes, so thank you very much, Davey. That was a great demo. So for the ones that are interested on how we do the enhancement, we'll just explain a bit more further. So when we say it's a Viesus enhancement, it's not just a filter. The Viesus algorithm actually looks at different regions of the image. So like sky, skin, vegetation, the person here, and treats them separately. So the sky gets a different treatment than the skin tones. The vegetation is handled differently again. So that's the whole thing. Yeah? So we first analyze the image, and that controls the next step in the image enhancement pipeline of Viesus. So that means correcting brightness, contrast, and colors, noise, and JPEG compression artifacts are cleaned up. Faces and skin are handled with extra care to keep people looking natural. And if the resolution is too low, the AI upscaling kicks in. So all these enhanced steps are also fine-tunable when the default doesn't meet your expectations, or you want to have a slightly different result as enhancement. So Here we have a simple before and after. On the left, you see a bit more flat colors, lost detail. On the right, with the Viesus image enhancements, the colors are improved and details are more restored. Here's another example. This time, please focus a bit more on the face. I hope the video doesn't compress too much, but like I said, we will share a PDF that you can run through the Viesus enhancer yourself and look at the differences. So notice again how the colors are improved, but also at the kid's face. So here our face reconstruction is at work. It's not really makes the skin extra plastic. There's no distortion, but we keep the results as authentic as possible. So just repeat it again. So this works on single images, but also on the images in PDF, as long as it's not flatted. And the layout stays untouched, so we don't touch text and other layout things. So yeah, whether it's a small photo print or a large format banner, yeah, people just expect a sharp print that's with clarity. So that's what the Viesus upscaling makes it possible. It intelligently increases the resolution while keeping the details and tones more natural. So this means that you can confidently scale any image, like Devi said, from photo books, but also posters or even billboards without compromising quality. You just have a chance to make it a level better. So what does this mean for print businesses? So of course, this is depending on the company situation and scenario and what kind of images or PDFs you get for printing. Some people have that more in control, and some printing companies are more depending on what they get from their customers. But we did really see companies that had a 20% increase in order value. So these are printing companies that get, for example, a lot of consumer images, so low res, maybe even images from WhatsApp. So they could accept more low res images because they used AI upscaling. And in addition, in some cases, they could offer to print larger sizes because of this technology. Also, the customer satisfaction goes up by 25%, so happier customers, more returning ones, and better reviews. So happier customers also means the complaints drop, because issues like pixelation, JPEG artifacts are now more fixed, so they don't complain about that. This also means that in potential, your reprints can go down. All right, now back to the Viesus Enfocus app version 1. So that was about getting upscaling and image enhancement into Switch, free to test. It connects directly through the Viesus Cloud API, so no local install is needed. With this, you get the full experience of AI upscaling and enhancement. There's one trade-off. So currently in the Enfocus app, there's a limited configurability. Usually, there are way more parameters available to fine-tune how Viesus should enhance an image. If you're not satisfied with the defaults. But the version 2, we are planning to build in more control and configuration options. Also based on your feedback, we will build in on-premise processing if that's wanted. If you want to keep the processing in-house, and could also optimize the performance, of course, because there is no internet reliance on internet. Also added more features like traditional resampling and an improved UX, so where we did better explain how to use the parameters. So Dave, you mentioned it already shortly, so how to get started. On Viesus.cloud, you can create an account and then you get 200 test credits. So that should be sufficient. And if it's not sufficient, just feel free to reach out. to get some more. You can try out a PDF or an image directly in a web app. Or when you copy the API key, you can try directly in the Viesus Enfocus app if you just want to check the quality. So the test PDF that Davey used is available on the Viesus web page on the Enfocus App Store. And here we have the configurations for you to get the best results. So this is the web app, how the web app looks like if you would enhance a PDF, if you want to check out the quality with the parameters. So you can set it to 300 dpi, you can switch the color enhancement on or off. There's also an option that explains you, okay, how are the credits charged, how it's calculated, if you want to know more about that. So here's the playbook we recommend for using upscaling the pilot first methodology. So this is designed to minimize the risks, prove value fast, and scale with confidence. So we have the detailed methodology if you're interested in using AI upscaling at scale. So if you want to run really a lot of print jobs through it, you might not have the big confidence to run so many print jobs through it, but instead of a big riskier rollout, we can propose you what we see, what works best with starting small, prove value, and then scale step by step. And then a quick note on the pricing of Viesus Cloud. So we have the free tier with not 50 but 200 free credits. Just keep in mind the PDFs in the free plan upscale to 300 dpi, while the paid plans upscale to 300 and above. We also offer, if you really want to enhance and upscale a lot, custom plans and on-premise integration and premium support. Also good to know, like just a color enhancement is 1 credit, and the AI upscaling technology costs 4 credits. Then, so Viesus is already in use by the industry for many years. So companies like Exposure, Polar Steps, and Mixbooks, and Evolor run millions of images through Viesus every day. So it proves it works at scale and in real production. So what's next? We show you how Viesus fits into Switch and the results it delivers. So feel free to directly try it out. Here you can find, we will share this slide as well. So with the links to the download, to the sample PDF, to the App Store. We will also be at Printing United. There you can also see the Viesus Enfocus app running live. And if you have any further questions about that, we are there also to explain it in person. We are also then at Visual First a week later in the US if you're there. And I think that's it for my side. So I hope this was a great, a helpful session for you. Now I would like to hear from you. If you have any questions, we are ready to answer them. So now Davey told me, and always feel free to reach out later, of course. Okay, so Davey, I see the questions, yes.
Yeah, and we're gonna go over all the questions, and we do have a lot of them. Are you ready?
Yeah, so the first one, I see how the credits work.
Oh, you started at the top. I started it at the bottom because the bottom is the first one.
Oh,
the top
sorry.
Is the last one. Because otherwise, Jonathan has to wait to answer a long time to get his question answered, and he was the first one.
Yes,
all images get enhanced. Some customers, mainly photographers, may have a dull image, but that's intentional lighting, for example, or is it only low resolution images that get enhanced?
It depends on your workflow, right? So
depends
you
on
could
the
have a
settings in the app, you mean?
Yes. So if you know you have like a workflow that comes from photographers that are already edited, and you don't want, of course, an image already edited by a photographer enhanced again. So these should be skipped, but then you should have another workflow where you let the images flow that come from maybe consumers or from customers. That, I don't know if you have a software where you can like tick mark don't enhance
Yeah.
or enhance.
But the beauty of it here, for example, is that all those properties, on or off, phase details on or off, even with the upscaling, they can all be
Yeah,
defined with text with variables. So if you have different inputs, you can define private data, for example, in your let's go in your job submission, for example, that if a job is submitted from that entry point, where that the
yeah,
default image enhancement is, for example, off. If it's coming from another entry point, it could be on. So all the settings that you have here in the app itself can be defined by variables. So you can actually adopt your app based on which type of work you're going to do. That is the answer to the question, Survey.
yeah, definitely. But you could also only have it upscaled. So if the image from the photographer is for some reason not reaching the target print resolution, you could say, well, check it if it reaches the target print resolution and upscale it if it's not meeting that. And then leave
Exactly.
color enhancement off, and then it leaves the image as authentic as possible, but make sure the print is just sharper.
Yep, exactly. Another question from Gopal. What is the harm if we send all files through Viesus?
So I assume then all images.
All the files from your switch, we also pass it to Visa. I think you're going to be very happy because that's a lot of credits, but
Yes. So what happens if you pass all the files? So on the images that are already good, we do less. So we are rather than conservative. But if we see, okay, the conditions are really poor in this image, then we do more. So
okay, so
we have
you only
customers
touch
that
the
just,
images. You only touch the images that needs enhancement then.
yes,
Okay,
exactly.
nice.
So if the image already, the conditions are already good, we don't do as much. And for the worst images, we do way more. Yeah,
Okay,
it's the analysis step in the beginning. So we have companies that just run everything through Viesus.
nice. Of course, Enfocus is part of ESCO. ESCO also has an automation platform called Automation Engine. Any plans on also bringing Viesus to Automation Engine?
I think so. Yeah, if that makes sense, then we
You're
should
open to it.
definitely look into it. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. From Axel, what about CGI, complete digital images?
Okay, let me look into that. Yeah. So you should ask yourself if color enhancement then makes sense. It could be, but I would definitely, the upscaling would make sense. Yes. So in the beginning of also with AI generated images, they were all, most of the times low res. And then companies were using our upscaling technology to not change really the content of the image, to keep the image the same, but upscale it so you could print AI generated images. That answers the question.
Great. I think the next question we already answered. Does always the system changes the colors if it's possible to only upscale and resolve the low res issues? Yes, it all
Yes.
depends on how you actually set up the app, of course.
Yes. So yeah.
What is the maximum width and height for a PDF for an embedded raster pixel image? Is there a maximum width and height for a PDF?
Yes. So let me. We have it. We will send the info as well. So
okay, but that's you can say. Well, you can also get. I'm going to forward you the questions, and that's from Axel Robert. It's asked that question, so maybe you can
the
supply a little bit
max
more details.
input size is 3000 pixel on the
Okay,
width or the height.
perfect. How the system deals with PDF4 and output intent. Does the structure remain as it was before the API?
It should be yes, but I think we have also our head of software development in the webinar. Maybe when he is able to speak, he can better answer that question than me. Great.
Yeah. When we process the PDF, we only touch the pixels. So the color management information around an image remains untouched. We of course do our image analysis we do it in a standard color space in sRGB, but we transform the results back into the color space that we found in the PDF.
Okay, nice. Thank you, Matthias. Another one. I think we're also now gradually in your presentation. You already explained it. Is it always in the cloud, or do you plan on an internal version on their own servers? What about security, in-out, image retention, NDA? I think you said in version 2 that you're also thinking about connecting the app to an on-premise solution as well.
Yes.
Yeah, well, yes, actually, so Viesus PDF came from on-premise, so cloud was second, and we certainly can do that in the next step of the Enfocus app. We used to have an app when Enfocus used configurators. So that's the old version before the Node.js port, and we have the intention to bring that back. So you can run Viesus PDF then with also some more parameters, some more flexibility than we have at the moment in the cloud.
Okay.
And I think there was a question regarding, do we enhance all the images or do we process all the images? What is when someone has intentionally changed an image and wants it like that?
Correct.
That's a hot topic for we know it also from photo books that are created by customers, and we have a way to tell Viesus PDF to exclude certain images in the PDF, but that's very technical. So based on their ID in the PDF file, that's something for those who develop their photo book software to place images, to let consumers create photo books. There's also a way for the on-premise, of course, for the on-premise version to exclude single pages or process only a certain set of pages in a PDF.
So that could be, for example, if Pitstop does not detect any low resolutions on a specific page, that we pass along that information to Viesus, and then Viesus keep that in mind. That could be a possibility in the future.
Yeah, well, we wouldn't process these images anyway. I mean, we basically do the same type of analysis that your pre-flighting does. We check the envelope on the page where the pixels should be rendered, and if we see a big discrepancy between the size of this envelope and the pixels of the image, then we do upscaling. That's what actually creates the factor that we compare with the threshold. And when it's over the threshold, then we do the upscaling.
Okay, great. So that also answered a question that Gopal has. So if in a photo book has good and bad images and it goes through Viesus, only the bad images get enhanced.
And as Servi pointed out before, if color enhancement is not needed in a particular application, you can just switch that off and just use the upscaling functionality.
Great. Another question from Jonathan. Is there a reporting function? If a customer file contains a lot of images and therefore a lot of credits, how do we see what each file costs?
Yeah, so we'll take the one. So yes, we do have an analysis function also in our API and web app, but it's not in the first version of the Enfocus app. So I will take this as a feedback, and we should include this in version 2. So we give an estimation of the credits that it will what it would cost to enhance a PDF. Yes.
What also would be great if that could be in a JSON response, and that JSON response could be attached to the job as a metadata set. So every job we know, for example, how much credits has been used. Just giving you some ideas.
Yep. Okay, thank you.
Well, presently we generate an XML, but this could very well also be a JSON file.
Yeah,
where we,
JSON and
where
then
we say
metadata.
the images we found in the PDF, the images that require resizing. Yeah,
that would be great.
There.
Yeah. How do credits work? Is it one credit per PDF file, per image, per page?
So I'll take that one. So it's per image, and then not every not every image in a PDF file needs to be upscaled. And then we have the difference between upscale and image enhancement. So the AI upscaling requires an hour backend GPU processing, so that costs a bit more. So 4 credits. Image enhancements runs over CPU and just costs 1 credit. Also, I also mentioned, so in a version 2, we are planning to add resampling as well, which is also, it's not as strong as AI upscaling, but delivers also actually pretty good results. And that runs over CPU. So that's a more cheaper version of upscaling, but with the downside, a little less quality.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to skip the next question because that's one of our partners in India that's offering me a beer. So I'm going to skip this one. Nazim, hey, what is the result on text elements? A low resolution business cards, any text enhancement?
No, at the moment, not at the moment. We're thinking about doing something to text that is in pixels, of course, but anything else, any PDF-based text is not touched by us at all.
Okay, thank you. From Amer, or Amer, sorry if I don't pronounce your name correctly. The enhanced images we saw gets muddy, have more red, and the shadow details get plucked. Yeah, plucked. Does it take into consideration the BPC, backpoint compensation? Also, does it add the TAC, total area coverage ink, when it gets enhanced?
Yeah. Yeah, so I saw the same a bit. The enhanced version.
I think that was my fault.
No, I think also a bit of the video compression. So I would encourage Emmer that he uses the PDF.
Downloads the app, and
yes,
the PDF that is, yeah.
Or we just include also the enhanced PDF, the before and after. So you can just
Amer or Amer, sorry if I mispronounce your name, does have a switch and can download the app and do the testing if he wants.
So Matthias, could you please fill me in on the BPC and the TAC?
Well, at present we don't do any special adaptation for the printing process. So we handle the image as we used to handle it as a bunch of pixels, but we don't do anything with regard to the final printing. So like the total area coverage, that's not something we take into account. But again, we give the image back in the color space that it came in. So if that's already a CMYK color space towards printing, that's not touched by us.
Yeah, and of course BPC and TAC is also something that you can handle in PitStop, of course. How long on average does it take to enhance the DPI in images? Very generic question. It all depends on the image, of course.
That very much depends on the amount of data that comes in. I mean, the bigger the original file is, the more it takes to, and the bigger it should get, the more it takes to process.
I would say test the different kinds of input files. Another one from Scott. Does the AI ever hallucinate and add a finger to a hand or other weird AI stuff? Suddenly you have 6 fingers instead of 5.
Yeah, so no, that's what we really took into account, that we keep the image as authentic as possible. So of course we need to invent additional pixels. We do that with AI, but we don't have the extra finger or the extra leg there. So I would also encourage Scott to try it out and then really focus on some details. So like necklaces or spots on the face.
Yeah.
And then look, you will see that with Viesus they stay there. It's just sharper.
Perfect. And I have a last question from Gopal. Can I define a minimum dimension below which images should not get processed in a book?
Oh, that's basically the threshold.
Is that threshold, is that something that you can define yourself or not?
Yeah, that's as you saw in the Enfocus app, it's a value that you can enter there.
Again.
So it's just a parameter to the PDF app that tells the app when to do upscaling and when not to do
upscaling threshold. That's this one.
Yeah.
I think
So
are these values explained in the manual or not? There is an enhancer guide also that comes with the app.
I think they should be explained there.
Let me threshold. Let me search for.
They are at least explained in the slides.
Yeah. Okay. Defines the upscaling factor from which an image is automatically upscaled. Yes or no?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Perfect. That was, if I just go back to the question, that was the last question of today. I don't know if you have any final words, Survey, to the audience.
Oh, I just want to thank you so much. Great session you organized and gave us the opportunity. I hope we can help Switch users to improve their print quality. It's free there out to test. We are available for any questions also after the session. Looking forward to make your prints better.
Okay. Well, thank you also for being present here during this webinar survey. We've done a lot of preparation work. Thank you for the hard work on this. I would also want to say to the audience, check your mailbox in a couple of days for the announcement of the next Works with Enfocus Switch webinar, which one is going to be together with Good to Go. And also we are going to be a guest on the next webinar about Print IQ, about AI in print. Well, thank you everybody for your attention, to taking the time to listen to us, and see you next time. Bye-bye.